Hey guys, welcome to season 2 of the Cigar Lounge Cigar Talk Show. My name is Aaron Paoletta, and I am joined, as always, well, at least for the second season, we'll see how it goes in the future, with John Hunter. And we have a new addition to our little team here. We each decided to move down to, I always forget, Charlotte, North Carolina. Today we have Dusty Muffins with us. And actually, I've known this cat a long time. Friend of mine from out in Las Vegas actually helped me out with the band before the band was anything. He was on the ground floor of that. Anyway, let's welcome Dusty Muffins. Say something.
Hey friends, something.
Hey friends. Anyway, so with this new season, I want to start off with
Cigar daggers.
Wow. You're gonna start already?
Yeah.
I want to start off with. Let's start off with cigar. So over the summer, Cigar Dagger was nice enough to hook us up, send us a few cigar daggers here, and one of them we're going to be doing today, but we'll do that later. So for moving forward, if you see the Cigar Dagger t-shirt being worn, that means it's Cigar Dagger giveaway. But what I do want to start with today is the 2020's Cigar of the Year, because 2021's is about to be released, and that is the E.P Carrillo Pledge. Now, I have actually had this cigar before it went no, I have the actual review right here. I bought it before it was named #1. I bought a box of them. And then I tried it after it went #1. And then tried the new batch, and there is a huge flavor difference.
Yeah.
Did you notice it when you tried them?
I still have the one you give me from your original box, and I've still yet to smoke it, but I've only smoked what they call this, the prequel to that.
This is the prequel. Yeah, there's two sizes. The smaller one is the one that went #1.
Well, I've only had this one, but I still have the original one you give me before it was named #1.
So you haven't even tried that one
No,
yet.
I'm waiting for that right moment.
Well, then without further ado, because these are these originals?
No, these are after they were named.
Oh yeah, because you can't even find the originals anymore. So these are the after ones. Anyway, I want to fire these things up here. So, the interesting note on this, because I have my original review that I did on this. It was named Cigar of the Year 2020. It was given an unprecedented 98 from Cigar Aficionado magazine. How do you compete with that? How do you turn around and review something that already got that kind of spectacular review?
There is no competing with it. I mean, every cigar since the Cigar Aficionado started naming their #1 through, what do they do, 25?
The top 25, and I think they started that in 04.
Yeah. Ever since they've started that, #1's gone. Actually, 1 through 5
It's
are
typically
like
gone.
Gone.
Well, I know I buy 1, 2, and 3. So like the year that the Andalusian Bull went #1, I bought it, and I only bought 1 and 2 that year. But I bought it, and I bought the Rocky Patel Sun-Grown Madura, which, fantastic stick. Here's the thing, I didn't give it a 98.
Really?
I gave it a 96. I thought it was damn good. I just didn't think it was a 98.
I think I would give it more of a 97, 96. It's still a great cigar. I bought a box myself. I don't smoke them all that often because I do enjoy them that much, and I just want to make them last.
I get it. I smoked both. I did the original, which is what I wrote this review on, and then I did the remakes. There is a difference in flavor, but here's where I'm kind of wondering now. The ones that I bought that were the originals, they had a 2000, like a January 2020 stamp on it, I think, on the box. So they were already,
They had time to sit on the shelf.
they were already aged a little bit. I'm letting the new ones that I got age out for roughly the same amount of time because I want to see if that flavor picks up like it did in the original
Well,
batch.
I can tell you from pulling this out of my box that this has a little bit more flavor than the first one I pulled out when I got the box.
Yeah. Oh no, this definitely has more flavor
Yeah,
than when I first bought them because I smoked them. I mean, I think we all smoked them that day. Your box came in and you passed them around. Good flavor, just not a lot of it.
Yeah.
Needed to sit out for a while. But now 98. Here, and this is the screwed up part about how they do their rating system. I've noticed that they take cigars that were in the running in this year, and then they pull some of those and put them in for the running next year. How do you have the Oliva V Melanio that goes #1, and then the following year it goes #7? How does that work?
Just like every year, the tobaccos, the climate, and everything changes. So that cigar changes by year.
But my point is, why is it back in the running? If you're going to do Cigar of the Year, top 25 pick, the testing should be of all the cigars that came out that year.
I agree with that. That doesn't
Not
actually-
rotate shit back into it.
Bringing up something that we talked about in our first season is dating. How you said about how
Like wine.
wines
Wine
are
has
dated.
a date on it.
I totally agree that cigars should be dated every year that they come out.
And there are some that do that. Like I know Opuses are big for that. The Purple Rain, the Opus X Forbidden Purple Rain, it had a 2016 band on it. And that's how you know it was that batch of tobacco. I think they should have that.
Yeah, I think it'll put another touch on cigars and it'll really help with aging. Because I know putting a cigar in your box and you're like, when did I put this in there? And I'm terrible at writing stuff down. We all
Unless
know
you're
this.
like Mr. K, where he can tell you the exact date and time down to the second of when that thing went in there.
Yeah.
That man is unreal.
No, he is. He's crazy. He's absolutely crazy. Before we get any farther on this, I do want to go over what's in this.
Okay.
But I'd like you to read those off.
Here we go. It's Nicaraguan
A what?
filler. You heard me.
What?
I'm Nicaraguan.
What?
Oh my God, Aaron, shut the fuck up. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're just gonna leave it at that. But it is the filler that's
We could
in it.
not kick off this season without you saying some heinous shit like that.
Well, it's only begun in,
Nicaragua?
Nicaraguan?
but yeah, the filler's from there. I'm not gonna say it again. I've done it enough. What kind of binders does this have?
Ecuadorian binder.
And it's got the
It has
U.S.
a
Connecticut Habano wrapper.
Connecticut.
Oh
Kinetic-
my God, here we go.
Hey, so we're gonna go back over all that. I'm gonna read you the correct shit. It has a Habano Connecticut wrapper, an Ecuadorian binder, and Nicaraguan long fillers.
Fuck you, Aaron.
Dude, Johnny looks so done with your shit right now.
I'll never forget the first episode he did that. I think it was episode 4, and he said Nicaragua. I'm like, huh?
Like
He
4
said what?
fucking times.
What did you just say? What country is that? Never heard of that before.
It's a new one. They pop
Oh,
up every
yeah.
day.
This is, however, the darkest Connecticut wrapper I've ever seen.
Usually it's like a tan. This is definitely.
I'm not a fan of Connecticut wrappers, but I like this one.
Is that something to do with the fact that it's Ecuadorian?
That's, the binder is Ecuadorian.
Ah.
This is I mean, the Habano, Habano is a darker flavored tobacco, but
But this says it's U.S. Connecticut Habano.
well, Connecticut
Yeah.
is, they're
It
grown
just
in,
means
they're
it-
grown in Connecticut.
All right, well, that would.
But
make
it
sense,
is the
would you?
darkest Connecticut wrapper I've ever seen, which is good. Now, when you get some of those, you know what? I don't even know if I have any on me to even show. Oh, wait a minute. Got a whole damn humidor full of shit down here. Let's see. This is not quite it. Oh,
I know we got another one in there. There you go. The Ashton.
Yeah. That's normally what color they are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can definitely see the difference in those. But on them lighter ones, though, that's typically where you get that creamy, those creamy notes from.
They definitely give a lighter, creamier kind of. All right, I'm gonna just put it this way: it's smoother on your outside notes.
Yeah.
We do love when it's smooth and creamy.
Speaking of smooth and creamy, Rocky Patel did a release not too long ago that was, well, it had Muffins and I salivating ever since we first heard of the release of it. And that is the, what was that one? The White Label. I was lucky enough to have one given to me to review before they released. And it had that nice creamy Connecticut shade wrapper on it, and I'm gonna tell you, actually I have that in my book.
I smoked one at the Christmas party.
Oh yeah, down in
at the
Penn, Ohio.
Fucking fabulous cigar. And as soon as we're able to get a box of them, write me down for one, for sure.
The single-handedly the most expensive cigar Rocky Patel has put out to date.
And it's fantastic.
Well, I think that is kind of what we were talking about the other day, right? Connecticut wrapper can be really good with a nice bold blend in it.
No, and it's 100% right. If you take, see, when people think of Connecticut wrappers, they're always thinking of like that mild to medium or mild
Cigar, yeah.
cigar.
And most of the
That's
times,
not necessarily true, because when I had it, dude, it knocked my socks off. I was not prepared for the Nicaraguan fillers that were on the inside of it to be that bold in flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And all that Connecticut wrapper did was add, literally like adding cream to the top. It was fantastic. But anyway, so this is the White Label by Rocky Patel. I'm not going to go through the whole review. I'll end up posting it later on my website, LaVegaLounge.com. But spectacular smoke.
I'll give that 100% agree. I would put that in my top 25 cigars.
Man,
I mean, it is way towards the top, but for sure great.
I've been salivating over that since they announced it, and I still haven't had the opportunity to smoke one.
We sat in the Oasis, and I think you were on Instagram, actually, and you saw it come through. And you're like, I'll never forget it either. He's sitting there, and he goes,
Like, what the hell is that?
yeah, he's like, whoa. I'm like, what happened? What did they really? Rocky Patel's got a new one. Dude, just by looking at it, you're like, damn, that's going to be good.
That's what you were saying.
Those boxes look so fantastic. You could use the damn thing as a humidor by itself. I mean, they're just white with that, rose gold is what it looks like. White and rose gold. Just sexy. All kind of sexy. Oh, speaking of another one by Rocky Patel, the 60. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I had a problem with that 60, though. I smoked the, what size was that we had?
Big.
Big, okay. Oh, the 6x60. Now, normally I'm a big fan of those 6x60s. Man, I fought that thing. Draws sucked, clogged. It was like it had these blotches of just super packed tobacco. Just ruined the experience. So the original that I did, I gave the original 60 an 88. When I redid the 5.5 by 52, I gave it a 93. There was that much difference in the flavor.
You just must have had somebody, that had to have been a Friday cigar at the end of the day.
Well, it was disappointing to say the least. But I have nothing but love for Rocky Patel. So, I mean, I bought a whole box of them, put them in the humidors, so that should tell you. There's a guy that I follow on Instagram. I think he follows me too. I think he goes by Cigar Joy. Is that his damn name? Cigar Joy? Anyway, he puts cigars are meant to be inclusive, not exclusive. That's a great way of saying it.
Yeah.
Cigars are for everybody. I don't care who you are, what color you are, what creed you are. When you sit down for a cigar, we're all friends.
Mm-hmm. And there's a cigar out there for everyone.
Mm-hmm. There is indeed.
From the very light, normal Connecticut wrap ones that are usually more of a light cigar to like a Monte Cristo.
A what?
You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
They're Monte Cristos, right?
Sure.
Monte Cristo
We'll go with that.
with a T.
Holy fuck. But anyway, those are typically a bolder cigar in my experience.
I love having him on this show. Monte Cristo,
Yeah.
American or Cuban?
I don't think I've had a Cuban version from them yet.
Well, Cuban will have Habano, or Havana written on the bottom of it. Like, thank God I bring this book with me. Because I just had one. Let's see here. Where the hell did it go? Oh. Yeah. You bastard. So that one right here. You see how it doesn't have anything right there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an American one.
Okay, then I've only had the American version of them.
And then that one, see what's in the bottom?
Havana.
Now here's the thing. The Habanas, all right. I think the big stink from them is the fact that you can't get them in the U.S. Why can't you get them in the U.S.? Because they never lifted the embargo.
Anybody important out there, lift that damn that embargo. So
It
we
all
can get
happened
some-
during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
They stopped everything going in and out of Cuba. That's it.
Well, it's 2022. Let's move the fuck on here.
I mean, I agree with you on that.
I heard that when that right before it was Kennedy was in office that did all that, right?
I believe so.
I heard that he ordered like 10 boxes right before.
Of course he did. Bastard, why didn't he share? But no, I do agree. It's 2022. Be done with it.
Yeah. The cigar world has grown. I think the last newspaper or news thing on Cigar Aficionado, the cigar industry has grown about 10% in the last 3 years, I think it said.
More and more people are becoming aware of cigars and just the wonderful qualities that they have. I mean, I'm not condoning smoking to anybody, but I don't really count this as smoking. Matter of fact, some doctors don't even count this as smoking.
Yeah, I think we know a couple.
I do know quite a few doctors that say, oh, that's not smoking. Smoking to them is cigarettes, vaping. That's considered smoking, which I think you actually said it the other day. Vaping is, no, it was you that said it. Yeah. Vaping is not smoking because you're not actually burning anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not inhaling these. I did a couple times by accident. About coughed out pieces of lung came out with it. Shit hurts.
Yeah, I've inhaled a couple times on accident, and not for me.
It's not fun. It's just not fun at all.
Nope.
No, but I don't do it the whole way through the cigar. I might do it once or twice between each third of the cigar.
Well, speaking of people becoming more and more aware of cigars, there's a lot of females that are actually into cigar smoking now. They're actually called Sisters of the Leaf. We're Brothers of the Leaf. They're Sisters of the Leaf.
Who come up with that saying? Because it works great.
Brothers of the Leaf?
Yeah.
Dude, I have no idea. First time I ever heard it was with Mr. K.
Yeah.
I was talking about you, and this was right before he moved here from Vegas.
Okay.
I was like, oh, my buddy's coming in, and he smokes cigar. He goes, oh, he's a Brother to the Leaf. And I'm like, oh, that's good. I like that.
It's definitely a great way to put it. You know?
Well, there's a lot of Sisters of the Leaf, too. And I got quite a few of them on my Instagram. There's one, actually, she made a post the other day, and it said, people ask her how she can smoke 6 or 7 cigars a day. I'm like, girl, what are you doing smoking that? I'm good for 2 if they're this size. One in the morning and one way later in the day.
I think last summer you called me. You're like, I'm never doing that again. I smoked about 4 cigars today. You're testing different ones, and I am sicker than fuck.
Oh, yeah. It was bad. This girl smokes 6 or 7 cigars a day.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know how she actually does it because that's a lot of nicotine to be taken in. But I do know that she buys bundles. She
Yeah.
put on there because the question was, how does she afford to do that? Well, if you're smoking $14 cigars, that adds up real quick.
Even at a $5 price range.
Yeah, but if you're smoking bundles and you're getting them for $1, $2 a piece, a little more manageable, I'd say.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money. And my theory is this. I mean, nothing against anybody, any company's cigar, but I'm not going to waste my time with cheap, nasty cigars that I don't like.
But yet there are some that are in that lower range that are great everyday cigars. Fuente comes out with them all
You know
damn
what?
time.
I'm glad you said that. You are 100% right. Where the hell is... I keep using your box.
I have never had a bad Fuente.
I
That's all I'm
can't say
saying.
that I have.
Low
either.
end, high end, doesn't matter. They're all tasty.
This one?
That's the 858.
This is the 858 Natural. And this one,
Don Carlos.
the Don Carlos. This is a perfect example of a low end, and I'd say a good medium to upper end. This is one wrapper shy of being an Opus, in my opinion.
That Don Carlos is a gem.
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But then again, so is the 858. Now, I'm a personal fan of the 858 Sun-Grown.
See, I lean more towards the Hemingway.
I also.
Yeah, so
The Hemingway is way underestimated, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I love that
had
cigar.
what was that one that we had at the club? A Chateau, Fuente Chateau.
Chateau de la Fuente, I think, is what it was. Double Robusto.
Yeah, like an $8 stick and just absolutely delectable.
Which killed me because it was at a country club and it was that cheap.
Probably because you have to pay to be there, so they knock prices down on some shit.
I do pay quite a bit to be there. But you know what? It's peaceful. People leave me alone.
Hey, better you pay for it than me.
Right?
But I would say, in my experience, my favorite smoking cigar, the best experience that I've had on a smoking cigar, and that's draw and the amount of smoke you get. I would say, in my opinion, Padron is the best.
Oh, I am not going to disagree with you on this, and I'm pointing at you. I don't know if the camera picked me up pointing at you, but that is a great point. There is one thing that ruins a cigar and the experience,
Yeah.
and that's if the draw sucks.
Yeah, if you can't get a good hit out of it, I don't care how good it tastes. If you're fighting it, the experience is gone.
Yep. The second thing that ruins a cigar is the smoke production. And that was the one thing you were complaining about, that Romeo.
Yeah, that original Romeo, the red and white one. Yeah, it was stiff. It was very hard to the touch and couldn't get any airflow out of it.
And it ruined his experience. He goes up to the club, gets a massive Romeo, and loved it.
See, we've had that issue on some of our previous episodes. we loved a cigar before we did it on the show, and then we fought with it on that one stick.
Yeah, because most of you know we do test these prior to coming on here. I don't know if there's any we're doing this season where they're actually going to be like first timers, but
I think I have like 2 in that box.
yeah, we normally test these ahead of time, so we at least have some idea of what we're getting into here. But
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that we tested were fantastic, and then you get on here and you're like, I can't get nothing out of this.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's just an easy fix. You know what? I have my thing from good old Amazon.
The guy of all the gadgets.
I have this thing, the humidimeter.
And like 4 different kinds of cutters in his thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So here's my thing. Looks like a tube of mascara, right? Wrong.
I've
It's a
used
drill bit.
it on a few different cigars, and
You got
it
it clogged?
helps.
Shove this thing down in there, like actually screw it in, and then rip it out. Clears the hole.
Yeah, so the problem with that Romeo is that didn't work.
No, because actually you'd have to hit it from both ends.
Yeah. It was not a great experience.
Yep. But speaking of packed cigars that I didn't have an issue with, that Arturo Fuente Purple Rain,
Yeah.
2016. That thing, like to squeeze it, it felt like a rock. Like you were literally squeezing a rock. The draw was crystal clear. Explain that.
Defying the laws of gravity. Even though we're not talking about gravity, but you know what I meant. Bruh.
What?
Reading between the fucking lines.
I think the word you're looking for is physics.
Aha.
Defying the laws of physics. Is that better?
I don't even know. Is it better? Is it worse?
Hey, we're going to roll with it, right?
That's why we keep you on this show.
Oh, I'm only good the fuck up, huh?
You're the comedic relief character.
Nicaraguan gravity.
But anyway, how's your stick going so far today?
Well, speaking of clogged, I don't know if the camera a few minutes ago actually caught it. My draw was a little tight. When I looked down on it, because this is a box press, and it comes to like, I don't want to call it a point, but it's more like a wedge. Okay. Like it actually, the way they make them, this one actually goes like this, real quick. I just cut a little bit of a bigger hole. Perfect draw now. The only thing I don't like is, you see it? I'm getting a little tar. It's a little bitter. Other than that, this thing is just spectacular.
And this cigar,
starting to taste like
it's.
See, and that
really
goes back. That goes back to my theory. Sometimes they just need to age out a little bit. Mr. K is good for that. So one of these days we really should try to get him onto this show. He's good for that.
Agreed.
He'll find I don't know if we have enough film space to get him on the show with the shit that he'll tell you.
Look, I've learned more in an hour or a half a cigar than I probably have in 6 months of smoking on my own. He just has a lot of history. Knowledge and where they come from, and it's.
Dude, he loves his cigars. This guy, and he's got impeccable taste on him too. He does not like Honduran tobacco.
He's got a taste that would break your bank.
I know. His pockets are deeper than mine.
Furby's like, my bank is broken.
Yeah,
I know.
It breaks with him. This guy, you're talking about someone who's got 6, 7 humidors filled with opuses. Just shit everywhere. But anyway, you're talking about someone who has impeccable taste also. So we were going down to a Penguins game, me and him. And he brought a Padron 1926 Maduro, whatever it was. We smoked it on the way down. On the way back, I gave him that Alec Bradley Prensado that went #1. Well, he lit that thing up. I'm telling you, not even 2 puffs into this, he goes, is there Honduran in this? Like, actually, yeah, there is a Honduran. That's one of the countries. And he goes, yep, tasted it right there. I can't say he didn't like it, but he's not a fan of it. You give him a cigar with Honduran, he'll pick it out right now.
Well, he's been smoking cigars for a long time. And like you said, his taste, if it's in there, he's going to taste it. Mm-hmm. Like the last cigar we sat and smoked with him was one of the opuses.
What, the other day?
Yeah. And he was pulling out, I think it was the Forbidden.
The Torchbearer.
Oh, yeah,
the Torchbearer, yeah.
Oh, yeah, on Thursday.
Yeah, he was pulling out notes that I don't think I'll ever taste in any cigar.
He did the same thing when I brought him that 20th, too. Was it the 20th Natural, I think? And, immediately was just like, there's Honduran in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just knows.
I mean, you pull out notes that I'm like, how do you taste it? But I think it comes from
the culinary background.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to do that. I had to pull out notes for flavors and this and that. Well, it's the same thing when I was doing wine. I mean, I have these books, which, anybody who watched last season know I keep these books. I have them for wine, too.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to do. Now, if I was testing one for the first time, I wouldn't have coffee, which I also stated last season. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I've already had it, so I'm enjoying a coffee with my cigar, because that to me is a perfect flavor combination.
Yeah, I really do enjoy coffee with my cigar. On occasion, I'll have a glass of whiskey or some backwoods moonshine, if you can get it. But mainly coffee, I would say, is probably a cigar's best friend, if it had to have one.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, there's some people I have on Instagram that actually do that. What's your preferred beverage? and mine's always coffee of some sort. Some guys like bourbon, some guys like whiskey. Most like coffee, I think.
What does that say about me?
What do you like?
Water. I drink water with every cigar.
Then you enjoy the flavor of the cigar itself.
I enjoy the flavor combination of all the above. Speaking of flavor combinations, we're already clearly through the first third. What did you get out of this?
I'm getting a very subtle earth tone, nuts, like cashews.
That's all you're getting? Cashews, really?
Yeah, like a cashew, that dry cashew, like unsalted cashew.
You've eaten a wet cashew before?
All right, I didn't really mean
I'm
as
fucking
dry
with
to
you.
white. Yeah,
I'm messing with you.
but no, like an unsalted or.
See, I got dark leather and almonds.
See, I can taste like the skin of an almond, that flaky stuff on the outside of an almond. I can taste that with a cashew nut.
I got a little bit of nutmeg. A little nutmeg flavor.
Yeah, I could go with some nutmeg. Dude, there were days that Muffins and me would sit down in the Oasis to have a cigar, and we're both literally looking in our totes going, I don't know if I want that one. I don't know if I want that. Got to go in the house and grab another one. Because like all these that I lined up for the week, what I thought I was going to enjoy or want to enjoy, my mood changed just like that.
I do that with my travel humidor. I'll set it up for, the next couple days, because I smoke maybe 2-3 cigars a week.
Shameful.
Yeah,
But
well,
okay.
2-3 days later, I get in my travel humidor and I'm like, these are good, but this is not what I want right now.
It's not what I want. I agree with that. Like that's how I felt coming down here today to film this. This is my cocaine.
You gonna share?
I can't. It's no spray, you fool. I can't breathe.
For legal purposes, that is a joke.
It's the Equate version too. I'm cheap. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. Now you got me thinking about cocaine. But I will tell you this, since I have my thing right here. I have a few lined up. Okay, I have the one by Alec Bradley, which this is new for me to try.
But you always have an Alec Bradley in your travel humidor.
If you watched last season, you know that I'm a huge fan of Alec Bradley. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a bunch of shit that they make that I'm not a fan of. But the ones that I am a fan of, I love them. And then there's this one, speaking of Mr. K, he found samplers. The place that we go to, the honey hole that we go to, which is out in Arizona, they only had 20 of them. I just happened to walk in for Cigar Day, and I heard he was on the phone with our guy out there. And he goes, well, I'll take 10 of those. I'm like, what are you doing? 10 of what? Tell me. And he's like, oh yeah, hold on. I'm like, don't cut me off. Like, what are you buying here? This fool orders his shit and then gets off the phone and tells me, oh, well, they have 20 samplers and it has the Arturo Fuente Rare Pink. Like, you couldn't have thrown 2 more on there for me? I give you the money for it. I mean, I'm good for it. I had to call the dude back and I said, throw 2 more of them samplers in with his. This was only released, this is a My Father's cigar, only released in that sampler. I'm dying to try this. You cannot buy this in a box. Or by the stick, anywhere, sampler only. The rare pinks are what he was after, but it had great stuff inside of it. Also, it had the Padron Black, which I'm gonna tell you, if you have a chance to smoke the Padron Black, that's a hidden gem.
Yeah.
He sent me a sampler from because he has a home down in the Keys, and he goes there in the wintertime. Last March or whatever the hell it was, he calls me. He goes, hey, I'm sending you a package. Let me know when it gets there. Okay. So sends a package out. I get it. I open it. I'm like, oh, it's one of them samplers. Thank God. Had the Padron Black in it. It's a Padron, and I don't have too many Padrones because, let's just face it, Padrones are damn expensive. So I saved it for a while. And then I smoked it, and I was like, holy shit, this is good. Couldn't find it anywhere. I mean, I found it. I found a picture of it, and it said not available.
There's a lot of cigars out there like that.
Well, now there is, but that Padron, oh my. If you ever have a chance to smoke a Padron Black, do it. Thing is fantastic.
I've never even heard of the Padron Black until Thursday with Mr. K.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that. So, the rare pinks. Fuente makes these rare pinks for breast cancer, which is in October. Unfortunately, because of all the COVID and everything's backed up, they couldn't get the rare pinks out. So they did something that they'd never done before. Now, having lived in Las Vegas for almost 14 years and having lived in Las Vegas pretty much your whole life.
Got like 20 years.
Yeah. There's a place out there called Casa Fuente. Guess what? It's an Arturo Fuente-based cigar store. Great place, too. Well, Casa Fuente cigars were designed and created for Casa Fuente in Las Vegas. Because they couldn't get the rare pinks out, they released the Casa Fuentes worldwide, which they've never done before.
Is that like a limited thing, or?
They're not going to do it again.
Okay, well then.
Now, let me tell you something. I've had a Casa Fuente before. I lived in Vegas. Do you ever have one out there when you lived out there? Okay. I had a Casa Fuente because I lived there, and I knew the owner of that and the cigar box, did some work for him, so I had those cigars. Well, Bill was talking about, Mr. K was talking about it one day, and he was like, hey, I just got a box of these. We need to try them. And I was like, well, what are they? And he goes, the Casa Fuentes. I'm like, oh, I've had that. Now, it's very rare that I tried a cigar and Mr. K didn't.
Oh, yeah?
Well, come on. You know that man tries everything.
Yeah?
It's like he's got a direct line with Cigar Aficionado magazine and Half Wheel. If it's coming out, he knows about it. So he never had them before. Obviously, you can only buy them in Vegas. So he got a box, and I think we smoked them, didn't we? You, me, and him? The first one. The Robusto size. Didn't you, me, and Mr. K smoke that Casa Fuente?
No.
You weren't there for that first one?
No.
Pretty sure you were.
I don't think I've ever smoked a Casa Fuente.
Anyway.
But you also know my memory.
Well, you're making me question my own memory now. Anyway, so he was a part of this whole thing. Mr. K said he wanted a box of them. Like, man, you can only get those in Vegas because they're not doing them anymore. So I was like, hold on. My brother still lives out there. I call my brother. I says, hey, if I find this box of cigars, can you go down and get them, take them to Muffins, because he was out there for his grandmother's birthday, and he'll bring them back. Well, my brother wasn't too happy because he doesn't want to go to the Strip. I called all around. I was able to find one box. Special thanks to Kelly at the cigar box, by the way. He hooked me up. Got this. My brother paid for him, like $600. My brother went down, grabbed them. 2 days later, took them to Muffins. Muffins threw them in his suitcase, brought them back here, took them out to Mr. K. We sat down and had one. It was a Churchill size. The one we had before was double Robusto. Way more flavor in the Churchill. Now, he likes Churchills. See, I don't really like cigars that long. That's just too much sometimes.
And it's crazy. You can get the same cigar, 2 different sizes, and the flavor and the smoke experience are night and day.
Yep. Flavor is definitely affected depending the size. But we sat down and had them, and they were absolutely fantastic, the Churchills. I would buy a box of those over the Robusto size. Anyway, it's about time to load this up with something that I'm actually excited. We're at this point of the segment. Are you at that point of the segment?
Yes.
Okay. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a Cigar Dagger. Cigar Dagger's been around for a while. Great company out of Los Angeles. They are not sponsoring us, but we are giving away some of their daggers this
We just
year.
like their product.
I
so
love their
much.
product. And it's one thing to have a sponsor, but when you just like something, I want to share it.
Yeah.
They were nice enough to cut us a little bit of a discount because we are going to be giving them away, but I want to share their product with the people who don't know about them. So here's what I got to say about how many do you have? 2 now?
2 now, yeah.
And how many? You just have the one,
I
right?
just had the one.
Okay. Well, we might have more if nobody submits for these, because I don't keep some of these. I got this one here. That's the what's this one called? The Architect. Do you remember?
I think so.
Well,
yeah, because the other one with the square and compass is the Freemason. So that
and it doesn't have the top on it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a Mason. Actually, everybody in this room is a Mason. Good quality, and it's not overly long. And I did find this out. When you go to put your cigar in there, don't put it all the way down here. It does loosen the glue. I thought something was wrong with it. Almost had to send it back. I just had to re-glue it. But for years, I wasted cigars. And Jackie would come and she'd be like, you know, you're wasting a lot of money there. I'm like, I got snossage fingers here. I can only hold so much.
Did you guys hear that? Snossage?
Snossage. But she turns around and she says, why don't you just poke it with something? Yeah. Why don't I just poke it with something?
Cigar roach clip all day.
Well, so turn around, found this. This is a cigar dagger. So pretty much all you're doing here is you're going to put this thing in here. Now, right when you get ready to come to the other side, I start to twist it so it doesn't rip that wrapper as it comes out. And then just as it goes through, that's all you're looking for. So it just makes it extremely simple. Pretty much you can smoke this all the way. I smoke it until it's actually starting to burn the dagger itself.
I did that Thursday with that Opus that we smoked.
Yeah.
Boy, let me tell you how surprised I was.
This dude, I don't care, dagger or no dagger, he wastes cigars. I'm just going to say that right now.
I enjoy a cigar until I'm done. And a lot of times I'll smoke it down to where I'm at now, or maybe a little more. But there's a few that I smoke until I literally can't no more.
And that torchbearer was one of them.
Yes.
One of two, I think I've seen you.
And that torchbearer was a
long
cigar
that,
to begin
that
with.
That damn thing was like 8 inches long.
Yeah.
7.5, 8 inches long. It was, gay. Okay, I'm not a homophobe. I'm a homo friend, okay? So, no, I absolutely love these things. And because of that, I want to share. And was able to talk this fool into splitting the cost with me. He wants to share, so we're going to share. This one's the one we're giving away today. This is the nubber. That's what it's called, right? The nubber?
Something like that's what I've been calling it.
We're going to call it the nubber, okay? It's a little smaller than the other ones. So, muffins, what is the criteria for entering to do this?
I don't think we ever fully decided before we started this episode, but logically speaking, looking at YouTube analytics that are available to us, I think if you like this video, drop a comment and make sure you're subscribed, and we will pull somebody who meets that criteria.
So, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will do a drawing for the nubber.
And drop a comment.
And drop a comment. I don't even care what comment is. It could be, hey, go fuck yourself. Just drop a comment. We'll do it like that.
Or the one that sticks out the most. We're going to be like, yep, that's it right there.
That's the one. But we will be doing the number for the nubber for this episode.
I do want to clarify, if you are entering the giveaway, please make sure that we can DM you on YouTube, or somehow provide us another social media where we can get in contact with you. Thanks.
Preferably follow me on Instagram, because I'm the only one who posts shit, and it's the Cigar Lounge PA is the handle on there. And remember, when you're watching these, if you see the Cigar Dagger t-shirt, it means we are doing a giveaway that day. So the number is the one going out today. Special thanks to the guys over at Cigar Dagger in LA.
And they don't fuck up your draw, for lack of better words. Your smoking experience is just like you're holding it. It's not like it clogs it, stops it. It just
I love it.
Works great.
And let's not negate the fact that we look like classy bitches doing this. I mean,
glasses up the classy bitches.
There you go. There you go.
Listen, I don't know what the standards are for classy, but you guys would not be my idea of classy.
Are you saying that because I'm missing a tooth?
Yes. No,
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
My pinky's out.
That's classy. I've always wanted to do this. Hey, man, I'm filming.
How am I supposed to fucking know?
Is that Flash?
Yeah, it's Flash. No, I just told these guys I'm going to pick it up. We're actually filming right now. And I've always wanted to do that because on the outtakes of Rush Hour, when Chris Tucker got a phone call, he's like, hey, man, I'm filming. And Jackie Chan was like, what, you answer your phone? You're filming? I might actually leave it.
I was about to say, we got to leave this in now.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave it in.
Use all the film!
Use all our film, exactly. Anyway, can I call you later?
I guess.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was Flash. Anyway, this is a cigar show, and we're talking about other show. I want to get back to this cigar since we're both cracking down on it. What did you pick up in the second third? Because we're clearly through that.
The almond is definitely.
You got the almond?
It's definitely coming out more predominant.
All
Good
the-
leather tone.
I got musty cedar chips added to it.
Yeah, second, third is a lot less sweet for me. I did pick up the cedar as well and leather.
I'm definitely getting the leather. It's getting a little bit of spice, a little bit of black pepper.
I got the black pepper early on.
I'm getting it now.
You're getting it now? And that's interesting because these cigars came from the same pack. And that just goes to show you, it's interesting of how that actually works. Two cigars from the same box can have two completely different profiles.
It could be two rollers sitting side by side. I don't know if anybody's ever actually watched people roll cigars.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, and it's amazing with it looks like ancient technology.
Well, different palettes also.
Yeah. You have two guys sitting next to each other rolling cigars. Well, when they're packing their molds, one guy might flip it one way, the guy right next to him might flip it the other way. And then you got a box of 5 different guys rolling in the same box. It's all the same tobacco. And I think that's how we can get opposite ends of the spectrum through the cigar. And it definitely is coming through that I'm getting the pepper now, and you were getting it, what, at the beginning of the cigar?
I got the pepper very early on. Sometimes I get it on some of these when I first light it, I'll get that blast of pepper. I didn't get that this time. But I want to say a third way through the first third is when I started to get that black pepper.
Yeah.
But mine went away. Now it's mostly that leather, musty cedar chips. The almonds are really coming through now. And actually, I'm already like good into my final third on that. And there's a hint of like a velvety chocolate, but it's very mild. You almost get it in the back of your palate is where I'm tasting it.
I'm almost getting like a crisp,
Like a baker's chocolate.
yeah. I'm almost getting like a crisp apple, like the crisp of
Really?
an apple. Yeah, it's kind of coming at me. It's kind of weird.
Really?
Kind of good though.
Apple. That's not something I got out of any of the ones I smoked.
And I didn't taste it until just my last draw on it.
Well, I mean, there's some cigars that you get. I'll notice weird notes. You've done it too. Just out of nowhere, you get this note for like 2-3 puffs, and then it's gone.
Oh, I've gotten, I can't remember what cigar it was, but you gave me a funny look. I tasted cherry in one of them. Can't remember which one that was, though.
Every time I smoke the Asylum, the bowl,
Asylum didn't make the bowl.
the Andalusian,
Oh, La Flor Dominicana?
yeah. Every time I
Andalusian bowl?
smoke, there's, in between the
Okay.
first and the second, third, I get a weird flavor out of
Okay,
it.
there is a note in there, and to this day, you know what? Matter of fact, in the comments when you go to do it for the dagger, let me know, because there is this ongoing thing where there is a note in the Andalusian bull that nobody can figure out what it is. Mr. K couldn't figure it out. I don't even know what the hell it is.
And it's
I don't know if you ever paid attention or could taste it, but there is one note that you're like, what is that?
usually right between the first and second, third, that it just like you're like, wait, whoa.
I know what it is. Tasty.
Yeah, that
Okay,
was good.
I could go with that. Tasty is definitely one I could go with. But no, this one, I tell you what, E.P Carrillo has, well, there's quite a few cigars that he has out. The La Historia is hands down my favorite. The Encore, just a spectacular stick.
Yeah, I enjoyed a few of those, and they are.
And it went number one too. That one went number one. Actually, I think they sell a sampler, and it's one of each. It's one La Historia, one Encore, one Pledge. Wrapping up on this one, because I'm getting down and you're a little farther than I am. The one main thing I got in this final third that stood above all else, I mean, all those other notes that we mentioned are kind of still there. I got some coffee, and it's not the fact that I have coffee. It's actual coffee notes that I'm tasting in here.
I'm getting espresso beans.
Espresso beans.
Like, you
Yeah,
know
I
those,
can-
those chocolate-covered espresso
Oh, yeah, yeah,
beans
yeah.
that you eat?
Well, I told you I was tasting some chocolate. Or
The heavy taste of espresso in this. It's not like real full in the flavor, but that you just know espresso when you taste it, and well, I can definitely get it.
I wanted to make fun of him because he said espresso, but then the second time he said it right, so.
a lot
A
of people.
broken clock's right twice a day.
Oh, you got to keep that in. Yeah, your blank stare right now is so perfect.
We need crickets behind my stare.
Yeah, yep.
Find that sound effect. We need crickets. You befuzzle me, dude.
What? Okay.
See,
There
you
we
know,
go.
Now
What?
now you know what we feel like when you say that shit. Anyway, wrapping this up, yeah, the coffee for me was the big one that came in. All in all, this is just a fantastic stick. I don't agree with the 98 that it was given. I did give it a 96. It's still fantastic. I still think it deserved its Cigar of the Year placement. There's a reason I bought 2 boxes of it.
Yeah, I also bought a box myself because I think you gave me one.
1 cigar.
One cigar.
I'm not that nice. I don't give him 2, or I
And-
give him a box of them.
I was box worthy as soon as I had that. I don't know. I think I was in my first third and was like, all right, buying a box.
Yep, I am a huge fan of this stick. And I'll bring on more. Actually, I might have to bring that other book back because I'm pretty sure there was stuff that I didn't talk about last season in
I
that
can
book.
guarantee it.
But I had to switch to a new book because filled that one up real quick.
I mean, if you watch the first season, you look at the book in that one, and then you look at the one he was talking in about today. They're different books, and he filled the other one. Isn't that your third one now?
Second.
You know
Second.
what's so like funny to me about that though is like you have cigars in your first book that also made it into your second book.
Redos. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll actually show that real quick. I have redos, and I got that idea from Mr. K. So he said it would be specifically I want to call it the Acadia. That's what I drive. The hell's it called? Mortal's Coil.
GMC, not a sponsor, but hey, GMC, if you want a sponsor.
The Mortal's Coil, we tried it when Mr. K bought a box, and it was good. It wasn't spectacular. And he looked at me and he said, I wonder what this will taste like aged. 6 months later, we tried it. Way better. So that got me thinking about it. Some of these that I have in here, and we don't have to worry about the up close for this. I'll just show it. That's a redo. And I'll do these. I'll go back.
It's extremely washed out on both cameras.
Cool. Anyway, it says redo on it. So same label, same cigar, just odor. And I'll go back and I'll do a redo on it to see if I picked up anything different specifically from aging it. A lot of the ones that I have in the last book had that aging quality to it, so I wanted to try it again later. They end up going in here, like the ALR that you're a huge fan of. Another Rocky Patel.
Huge fan of that ALR.
Oh yeah, dude, I love that. Hands down, that's probably my favorite stick by Rocky Patel is the ALR. You got anything else you want to add?
Thank you, E.P Carrillo, for the pledge. Great cigar.
You got anything you want to add?
The only thing I'm going to add, just as a reminder for the Cigar Dagger number giveaway, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below, and we will pull somebody at random.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will see you on next episode.
Enjoy your smoke.